Most new businesses absolutely do not fail because their founders lacked passion. They don't fail from a lack of creativity either. They actually fail because they missed a very specific, absolutely crucial set of survival decisions. In fact, the really harsh reality is that most new businesses don't even make it past their first 3 years. That is the baseline you're competing against. But the ones that do survive, they do 10 things very differently. Okay, let's dive into this explainer and see exactly what those are. Number 1, demand over passion. Look, excitement? That lives entirely in your head. Demand, however, lives out there in the market, and those are definitely not the same thing. Confusing the two is basically lethal. Picture 2 founders. One absolutely loves coffee, so she opens a cafe. Another notices local businesses wasting hours every single week on messy staff schedules, so he builds a simple scheduling tool. One is just hoping people learn to want something new, while the other is actually solving a problem people already feel. Which leads us to the ultimate question. What are people actually desperate to get rid of? You see, customers only pay when a problem is costing them money, time, or stress. Stop asking what business you want to start and start asking what expensive headache you can cure. Finding real market fit literally just means your offer perfectly matches what the market naturally craves. It's like a giant puzzle. Drop a health food cafe into a neighborhood full of fitness professionals? Obvious fit. But drop that exact same cafe into a strict budget-conscious area. Lethal mismatch. And you don't find this out by staring at a spreadsheet. You find it by talking to real humans. Section 2, surviving the cash flow trap. So the crucial point is understanding this exact distinction. Revenue is what you are owed. But cash? Cash is what actually pays your rent, your team, and your suppliers today. You have to separate and truly understand your costs. Fixed costs, like your rent and software subscriptions, they don't move with sales. Variable costs, like materials, scale with them. If you lock into massive fixed costs way too early, you create this lethal pressure the second a slow month hits. Let's put that into perspective. Say you just closed a massive $10,000 client. Amazing, right? But wait, they pay not 60. Meanwhile, your rent, your team, and your software bills, those are due this week. So on paper, you had an incredible month, but in your bank account, you are totally underwater. Sales solve tomorrow's problems, but cash solves this week's. And when you go to collect that cash, you've got to stop pricing based on what it costs you to make it. If your tool saves a business 20 hours a month, price it against the massive value of those 20 hours. Always price the outcome, not the effort. Which brings us to our next major shift for modern founders: systems, AI, and trust. All right, reality check on AI. It is not going to replace your entire business, but it is completely ruthless at repetitive admin. Let AI clear out your back-end workflows in minutes so you can actually put your humans on the relationships. People remember exactly how you made them feel, not the software that sent the invoice. That human connection, that builds your trust advantage. Trust is incredibly slow to build and terrifyingly fast to lose. If you overpromise in your marketing just to get a short-term bump, you instantly create a long-term credibility problem. But communicating honestly and fixing mistakes quickly, that compounds into a reputation that basically does your marketing for you. Moving into our final thematic module, progress over fake productivity. Look at the difference between actual results and just staying comfortable. Just as we stripped the fluff out of this explainer to save you time, you have to cut fake productivity out of your day. And this brilliantly illustrates that point. Endlessly polishing a logo might feel super productive, but it's just safe. Real progress looks like stronger cash flow. Here's the thing, you are not going to feel motivated to do the uncomfortable work every single day. Motivation is completely unreliable by design. Discipline is mandatory. It means reviewing your numbers and making those tough sales calls on the days you absolutely don't want to, rather than just hiding behind the easy work. And the ultimate test of that discipline, it's the fear of hearing no. Founders quietly avoid sales because they think it feels like manipulation. It really isn't. If your product works, you aren't convincing anyone of anything. You're just helping someone who already has a reason to say yes. Every single no is just valuable information. Let's move to and see how this builds into diversification. You absolutely must diversify to survive. If more than half of your revenue comes from a single client or just one marketing channel, that is not a strength to protect. That is literally the biggest risk on your book. And hey, when things do go wrong, treat handling complaints as free research. Do not take a complaint like a personal attack. Surviving businesses treat them as a direct, neon flashing signal of exactly what needs to be fixed right away. So, let's step back for a second. Let's look at the failure pattern, zoomed out. Why do these businesses actually fail? Well, they ignore feedback. They underestimate cash flow. They spend money way before proving demand. They chase too many ideas at once, and they avoid making hard decisions. Those small problems just pile up, and eventually the ship sinks. But the reverse is also true. Small, boring, consistent decisions compound into survival. Which brings us right back to the beginning. If your business disappeared tomorrow, who would actually be upset? If you aren't absolutely sure of the answer to that, well, that is the very next